Well, Chris, we just learned within the last hour that prosecutors will charge Alec Baldwin and armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed with involuntary manslaughter in the death of Hutchins. Now, you'll remember Hutchins died shortly after she was shot during rehearsals at a New Mexico ranch back in October of 2021. Baldwin was pointing a pistol at Hutchins when the gun went off, killing her and wounding the director, Joel Souza. Another member of the crew, assistant director Dave Halls, has agreed to plead guilty to the charge of negligent use of a deadly weapon.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Alec Baldwin being charged with involuntary manslaughter due to the shooting death of Helena Hutchins back in October of 2021 on the set of the film called Rust out there in New Mexico. They also charged the film's armorer, the person that was responsible for the guns and making sure everything was right, the ammunition was good and not live rather than blank. They charged her with the same crime, involuntary manslaughter. Now, people are going to have a lot of different opinions about this for a variety of reasons. Some are going to say that it's way too strict because obviously I'm going to say I don't think Alec Baldwin shot and killed this lady on purpose, okay? You're on the set of a movie, you have a gun, you think the gun is fake or the gun is real, but you don't have live ammunition in it. You think that's what's going on, but obviously that wasn't the case. You shot the gun and then she died. So it was an accident. However, there was a lot of negligence surrounding the whole situation that led up to the whole thing, in my humble opinion at least. And I think that's also the opinion of the prosecution. There was negligence. First of all, on the behalf of the armorer. They were horsing around on the set. And what I mean by that is you have real guns, right? You can have live ammunition and also blanks. And if you don't know about guns, ammunition, or whatever, when you shoot a real gun with a blank, it'll still go bang, but you won't actually get shot if you're in front of it. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be in front of it unless you are filming a scene or maybe even rehearsing, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. So the armorer and some of the crew members allegedly were horsing around on the set, shooting the guns with live ammunition, shooting cans in the parking lot, dumb stuff like that. And by the way, this was not an LA production. This was a New Mexico production. You had kind of a lot of B and C tier type people out there handling stuff. It wasn't really a professional production. There was a lot of red flags on the set before the tragic shooting. And the biggest red flag was the on the set horseplaying with the guns using live ammunition. Allegedly, there was live ammo mixed with blank ammo in the same place. So it's easy to load your gun with live ammo and not even know it. But see, ultimately, Alec Baldwin is being charged because he was the boss. It was his production. So you are responsible for the entire situation. You are responsible for those who are cast, how much money you spent, who's doing what, where you're shooting. Ultimately, that's your responsibility. And one more thing that I remember back when I was covering the story in 2021 and beyond that, I think he said he didn't pull the trigger, but kind of found out he did pull the trigger. He pointed the gun and pulled the trigger, but he said, no, I didn't pull it. It just went off. Like, I think what he said was, I pointed the gun at Miss Hutchins and it went off. But in reality, in order for the gun to go off, he had to have pulled the trigger. It wouldn't just go off by itself. Okay. So allegedly, apparently, he was lying as a result of that. And if he was not lying and the gun just went off, then what kind of guns do you have on set? You have faulty guns. They're horse playing. You got C-tier people around, live ammunition. It was a whole big mess from the very beginning. Now, before I get too deep into it, let's roll this clip. This will give you a little bit more context, perhaps. It's just a little commentary from Fox. You'll be able to see Alec Baldwin and also some of the set. If you want to see this clip in full without my commentary, link, as always, will be in the description.
They want to send a message from New Mexico that if you're going to do these things, if you're making movies, if you're handling guns, you're going to do it right.
Yeah. There's no excuse in New Mexico. You're not going to get away with it under the guise of, well, I really didn't know. It was a mess. My question is, what about the corporation? What about the production company? That was a disaster. You know, civil lawsuits clearly are still pending there.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm not sure about any civil lawsuits that have been settled. She said there is still some pending. That's going to be, that's obviously going to be a thing. The production company, they're most certainly liable for the situation. As I said, it was a whole big mess. A lot of red flags throughout the entire film's production. It was crazy. It was dangerous for a long time before the shooting happened. So the production company will most certainly get sued, and they will most certainly lose in civil court, of course. The criminal case, however, is a different animal.
But the DA made a decision that the life of Helena Hutchins mattered, and that Alec Baldwin is the one who pulled the trigger. It was at his finger that she died when he pulled that trigger, and that Gutierrez Reed is certainly negligent in handling it.
Yeah, 24 years old. She said she was asking for a cart to help her carry around all the weapons.
She shouldn't have been on that set, Harris.
Does that make her less culpable, though, for the charges?
It makes her more culpable. That you took on a job, you stated you had the capacity, you stated you had the experience, he relied on that. They're going to fight it out, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be an issue because she's going to say, well, you casted me like if I wasn't the person for the job, you shouldn't have cast me. But on the other hand, it's like, hey, you know what this job entails. You know what you're being asked to do. If you can't do it, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it. Also, let's go back to the horseplay. Why, if you can't handle the job, then why do you have these guns out here with live ammunition in them, shooting at paint cans and stuff in between takes? Okay, let's not give the whole damsel in distress situation. Let's not do that when you're out there horse playing with the guns.
Baldwin and Helena and
allegedly
Gutierrez Reed are going to be fighting it out all through this trial. And the fact that they've got one who's already pled guilty, that person is going to turn the case. Hall.
So wouldn't you try to avoid trial at all costs? Or would you, as Leo suggested, try to get your name cleared as Alec Baldwin so you can work in Hollywood again?
He's toast. I think he's toast. Man, you to kill somebody on set and you about to go to jail. I think it's a wrap. Maybe he'll come back because Hollywood, they're weird like that. We know that people do some crazy things in Hollywood and still get accepted with wide open arms. It's like, okay, you done did this to this and that, and you still come on back. But I think he might be toast, at least for the foreseeable future.
Well, I think, look, if he's charged with involuntary manslaughter, you want to plead guilty to it? Be my guest, but it's got to be his charge. They're not fooling around in New Mexico.
Wow. All right. So the team is putting together some pictures for us. Fox News has obtained these photos, so we want to work this in now. Alec Baldwin's wife, Hilaria, coming and going from their New York City apartment. This was just earlier this morning. So far, no spotting of Alec Baldwin, and we have no reaction that we've been able to gather from him or his camp.
Okay, so I don't really see too much going on here. It's just pictures of Hilaria, his wife, and then that's them right there. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, as I said previously, I don't think he shot Miss Hutchins on purpose, but there was so much negligence surrounding the case that there must be some kind of accountability. There's got to be some sort of accountability here, or else people can just do whatever they want on set, and then it kind of creates a culture of negligence. I'll do whatever I want. I don't care if somebody dies, somebody get hurt, somebody's severely injured, then it's not on me. It's not my fault. I won't go to the penitentiary. I won't face any kind of consequence. So we can't have that going on. But it's a tough situation, but ultimately I'm not really surprised at what's going on. And he probably will do some jail time behind this because of all the negligence. If nothing else, just that, not even necessarily the pulling of the trigger. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here with Alec Baldwin? Should he have been charged with involuntary manslaughter or not? Should it have been something more severe, less severe? Should it have been a civil penalty? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is probably the appropriate charge. Absolutely. I'm not really sure about jail time, how long he should serve in the penitentiary. And the reason why I say it is not because he pulled the trigger and he shot her and killed her, because that was purely an accident. Yes, he did point the gun at her. Yes, he did pull the trigger, but it's a movie set. You think this gun is okay. You think this gun is not loaded with lethal ammunition. You think it's loaded with a blank and you're just doing the part of a scene. Okay. So I don't think it was intentional, hence the involuntary part. involuntary manslaughter. Why? Because of the crazy conditions on set. Because people that you hired that were not really suited for the job. Because of all the red flags, all the things that your set that you were the boss of had going on that you did not check in the appropriate amount of time. And if you would have checked these things, if you would have made sure everything was okay, then you could have prevented this tragedy from happening. I think that's where the involuntary manslaughter comes from. Will he go to the penitentiary? I think it's like a 50-50 chance. It's a toss-up. Maybe they'll give him jail time, maybe they won't. But I think the charge itself is appropriate considering all of the circumstances surrounding the shooting. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.